around in this great big city. Fast money and the life will never show you no pity. Oh, I work hard trying to make my bones, but times have changed and I just got to move. I can't run away, I can't run away, I can't run. I can't run away, I can't run away from the things that I've done.
Welcome to Writer's Tricks of the Trade. I'm Morgan St. James, and I'll be your host for the next 30 minutes, and hopefully we'll be joined by co-host Dennis N. Griffin. God bless electronics, but for some reason, he's dropped off. Are you all there?
I am, but I'm not Dennis. It's Carolyn.
Okay, Carolyn. Well, you just can't trust it. Dennis was on a minute ago, and his call just dropped, so I'm going to take on both parts in case he is able to call in. And producer Eric Miller is standing by to take calls.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, there's Dennis. Okay, he's a Johnny-come-lately. My goodness. Dennis, are you there?
Yeah, I was logged on earlier, but there was nobody answered, so I called back in.
I know.
Dennis,
like I said, God bless electronics.
Well, anyway, I think we're all here now.
I'll be your host for the next 30 minutes, now along with co-host Dennis N. Griffin, and producer Eric Miller is standing by to take calls, so just dial 646-478-0982 if you want to talk to our guest, Carolyn Howard-Johnson, or to me or Dennis. So, Denny, take it from here.
Yes, our guest for tonight's show is Carolyn Howard-Johnson, one of those do-it-all people. She is well known for her award-winning books for authors, including her popular books, The Frugal Book Promoter and The Frugal Editor, and also consults in the 3 Ps, publishing, promotion, and publicity.
Well, we say do it all because in addition to writing nonfiction books, she's also published fiction novels and poetry. And if you add to that nearly 3 decades of retail experience owning and operating stores, ranging from home decor to gifts to antiques and other collectibles, and as if that wasn't enough, she loves to teach, speak, and act.
So what can I tell you, honey? If you live to be old enough, then then you're bound to collect
there, Carol.
Right?
We're the same age. Well, why don't you tell us just a little bit more about yourself?
Well, actually, I think you kind of covered it. I started out in journalism very, very young with the Salt Lake Tribune, and then did a whole lot of things in between, including fashion publicity, wrote media releases for the likes of Pauline Tregear and Christian Dior, and worked for Good Housekeeping magazine as an editorial assistant, and opened a chain of stores, and they grew and raised 2 kids, and now I'm a grandparent and a great-grandparent, come believe it or not. So,
in other words, you're an underachiever.
Well, as I said, I didn't do it all at once.
Anyway, you say that writers tend to dislike marketing and promotion, and you say they need to just get over it. But how can they do that, Carolyn?
Well, I think Americans and probably Western Europeans too. I don't know enough about some of the Asian countries, but I'm a tutor for a Korean student, and they certainly would fall into this classification. I think we've all been taught that being humble is a very valuable trait to have, and being humble doesn't include tooting your own horn. And we tend to think of marketing and publicity as tooting your own horn, especially if you're doing it yourself. So we get over it by primarily by rearranging our thinking. We need to start understanding that what real marketing is, what really great marketing is keeping our audience or our customer in mind. And that goes for everything from retailing to book publishing, and when the author has to work with their publicist, they have to keep that in mind. And that's one of the reasons when they see people promoting, say on Facebook, and all they do is post stuff that says buy my stuff, come buy my stuff. That's not keeping your audience in mind. That's just trying to sell your stuff. So I tell them to forget the word sell.
Carolyn, there probably is somebody listening now or who will listen, and they'll say, well, I'm the author, I'm the writer. Why do I have to worry about marketing and promotion? Isn't that somebody else's job? Doesn't the publisher do that? So will you explain to why an author should pay attention to marketing and promotion?
Exactly, Dennis, and that's one of the surprises for them. They assume when they go into writing that they're going to be able to sit behind their desk and write forever. But even if they're published traditionally, their publisher is going to depend on them to do book tours and to speak on the radio and to occasionally maybe even get on in front of a TV camera. So that doesn't go away even if you have one of the big 5 publishers. And it's exaggerated to a great extent if you are self-publishing. Then you're in charge of your entire marketing campaign. So that's why, you're going to have to do this regardless. So I tell brand new authors who haven't even published yet, it's never too late to start, but it's also never too early. You start, as soon as you start thinking about publishing a book, no matter how you intend to publish, you start building your contact list. You don't want to miss one single name. You want people to be easily reached when you have a book launch, when you send out your media releases, etc. And your publisher is going to need those lists too. So there's tons of stuff you can start right now, no matter where you are in the publishing process.
And what are some of the essential PR things that authors need to know about? I love when you watch these movies or TV and it's an author and they're being treated like a rock star with the limos and the whole thing, but hey, that isn't reality for probably 99% of authors. So,
I can remember once going to a movie at the Laemmle in Pasadena and coming out, and there were people lined up around the block at the famous Romans bookstore waiting for Clinton to sign their book. And I'm thinking, ooh, if I could only get that kind of crowd for me. Well, honey, just forget it.
So when are you declaring your run for president?
Yeah, exactly. So, I think of the most valuable aspect of learning something about publicity and marketing yourself is so that you can be your own watchdog, so that you don't get taken advantage of. So you say you are self-published and you hire a publicist because you really don't want to do any of that yourself. Well, first of all, that's going to be very expensive. And if it's your first book or even your 10th, you may nowhere nearly be able to get the money back that you spend on the publicist. So it's not something I advise to begin with. But let's say you insist. So you insist on doing that. You hire someone and you have no knowledge of marketing, no knowledge the difference between marketing and publicity. You have no idea how to write a media release, how to write a query letter, how to put together a media kit. How are you going to know if they're doing a good job for you?
That's a very good point.